Okay guys, now that we have our nice healthy fire going with using the Condor Kephart and some assistance from my beloved Husqvarna, as Ulrika would have taught us, Husqvarna carpenter's axe, I want to show you a couple other things that I really like about this knife right here. Some of the things that it shines at. You saw me doing some feather sticks earlier, shines at that kind of stuff. Let's get into more of the carving abilities of this knife here. So I'm going to turn the camera around and set you up, and we'll be right back. So as I mentioned before guys, whenever I show knives, whenever I do videos on knives, I want to show you guys what I use them for. And one of the number one things that I use a knife for when I'm in the woods is a tent stake. Not sure if you're going to be able to see due to the weird coloring on the wood here, but there's our 7-notch and our tent stake. The next thing I do is just kind of round off the top end here. And there we go guys. Should I need the pole of my Husqvarna? And when I'm doing these fine carving notches guys, there's no hurry. So I just take my time, get it where I want it. Let's see if we can get this part on camera. Because as I discussed before, what I really like about a knife when it can score underneath of this pot hook. And the way that the knife, the flat grind, bites in is quite different. So you got to kind of work with that. But the end result is we get that pot hook. Just clean it up a little bit. Can you see that right there? How the knife comes up and under, and I can score. And make those fine digs underneath and get a nice deep hook there. So there's our bush pot there, and our pot hook. No problem, guys. The one big difference that you might find is that you don't get the same bite with the full flat grind as you do with the Scandi. Other than that, guys, it's gonna work. There's your log cabin notch there. I do find myself using a baton a lot more with this flat grind than I do with the Scandi. When I'm doing these fine carving tasks, there's your 7 notch. I think the main reason that Scandinavian grinds are woodsman's knives is you're not working as hard to remove wood in chunks like this when you're working with a Scandi. Alright, we're thinned out pretty good. This knife has a this knife has a beautiful drop point on it. So that's what made me want to try out this hole in a stick here. So we've thinned it out, and I'm working at 4 points here. And I already have daylight on each side. Nice little drop point here, guys. It worked pretty well. Pretty much like everything I do, it's not pretty, but it's effective. Here's your hole in a stick. Whoops. And we could definitely clean that out more, and with this drop point design, it's no problem at all, because this point just reaches right up in there. The same reason why this is a good hunting knife. You could use this point to your advantage. So mini tri-stick, guys. We showed our pot hook, we showed our log cabin notch, there's our 7 notch, and there's our hole in the stick. If you want to put a piece of paracord through there, piece of bank line, whatever you may need a hole in a stick for. Okay guys, I want to show you my main issue that I have with the fact that Condors are 1075 high carbon steel. I never get and I bring this up, this isn't a make or break for a lot of people, but I bring this up because flint and steel, or chert and steel, is my favorite type of primitive firecraft. And I always feel more secure when my knife, the material that gets removed from my knife, can produce sparks to catch onto a piece of char cloth here. This is the steel striker, the U-shaped striker, and this is made for this purpose. And I don't know if you can see that, but it showers sparks. It's 1095, it's just a piece of steel. In no time at all, we got char cloth on fire here. This is my Mora Classic number 2. 1095 high carbon steel. The same as that U-shaped striker that we just used. There we go. And that was the Mora Classic number 2. Now we move to the Condor Kephart, which is 1075 carbon steel. Even when we weren't hitting the piece of char cloth, I'm not sure if you guys were able to see it, but the 1095 high carbon steel was still throwing sparks. When I take this piece of chert to the 1075, I am only getting 1 or 2 sparks here. To whereas the 1095, and I hope you can see this okay, I get sparks almost every time. So 1075 has always frustrated me with that. I rarely get the same sparks as I do from 1095. And it lowers the percentages each time. Because I only get them here and there due to the lower content of high carbon steel. I hope I answered questions about the Condor Kephart and what this knife can actually do for you. We talked about the flat grind, we talked about the spine, we showed it in use. Talked about the hardwood handles, which are relatively comfortable. I don't mind them at all. So thank you for joining me, guys. It is starting to rain here, so I want to get my camera in out of the rain. I appreciate it. I wish everybody the happiest of holidays, and we will talk to you again down the road. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.